let's begin with some shoulder rolls. Feel free to take off your shoes so that you have more flexibility in your feet, unless you're really cold. That's why I'm keeping, usually yogis take their socks off too, but it's too cold. So let's notice how it feels to roll the shoulders up and back and down, and taking your time to really tune into sensation. Tuning into sensation and to the breath. The inhale through the nose, the exhale through the nose or mouth. And see if you can relax the cheeks, the jaw slackens. You can stretch out the jaw if that feels good to you. Softening the face, the eyes. The eyes focus gently on a point ahead so that you're using your eyes to ground yourself as much as you're using the feet on the ground and the vitush, the buttocks, sitting bones on the chair. Let's reverse direction. And notice how that feels. It might feel very different in the other direction. Thank you guys for coming out in the cold.
Thank you.
Couldn't do it without you. And then let's circle one arm. And feel free to bend the elbow or to straighten it, but don't lock it. And use your eyes. So we're grounding our eyes on the movement, on the fingers or the hand, the palm. And again, I tend to go fast, but I like to slow down. I tend to go fast throughout my days zipping around, but I like to use my hour of yoga to really slow down, to really be present. If you happen to have a block, I forgot to bring mine, you can keep it between your thighs or knees and use that to energize the legs. And you could use the block at the thinnest or the middle thickness. And then reverse direction. The other arm could be on your lap or hanging down, loose, relaxed. Notice the neck, throat, chin. And you don't have to look at the fingers. You could gaze down at a point ahead of you or to the side. Release that arm and tip to that side. So if you were circling the right arm like me, tip to the right. Try to keep both buttocks pointed down. The left one may lift, pop up, but press it downward and reach the fingers down, and maybe even take the other arm opposite over. You can always hold on to the chair, to the leg, or the seat. See if you can tip the chest open. That might mean you lose a little of the stretch in the arm. That's okay. We're tipping the chest open. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Keeping the feet pressing down into the earth. And release. And now take that other arm, the left arm, if you did the right first, and circle it. Your gaze could be on the movement or on the ground. Take a nice breath in through the nostrils, out through the nose or mouth, and check in with the neck on this side, the throat, the chin, the back of the neck, the shoulder blades, the ribs. Reverse direction of the movement. And even as we're pressing the feet down into the ground, feel the crown of the head reaching up towards the ceiling. Imagine an invisible string pulling you up. Release that arm down and tip towards that side. So if you were circling the left arm, we're tipping to the left now. You can hold on to the chair. And you might take the right arm up and over, reaching, stretching from the hip to the fingertips. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. And maybe tip the chest open, more open to the front or even to the side. Breathing here. It's all about the breath. Noticing the breath, working with the breath. And release. Shoulders roll back again. Let's take both arms up and do a few sun breaths. Reaching and releasing. So palms can be up as you lift. And feel the lift. See if you can feel the lift in the spine, the whole spine, the belly, the chest, the ribs. Exhale, releasing, not just the arms, but letting the chest, spine relax. Few rounds of these sun breaths. Matching the movement to the breath to the movement. And relaxing the face, maybe turning the edges of the lips up slightly, a little Mona Lisa smile. And then take the arms up and let's pull the left wrist with the right hand, coming to the side again, noticing those ribs stretching apart. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Feel free to soften the elbows, soften the shoulders, and soften the grip on the wrist. Come through center and switch sides. Grasping the other wrist. Again, releasing the neck, feeling that side stretch, and coming back to center. Shoulders back and down. Hands come to the thighs, and let's work with our cat and dog. Inhale, filling belly, chest, and ribs, and even the collarbones with prana. Exhale, releasing. Inhale, filling up with prana, positivity, energy, life force, aliveness. Exhale, rounding back. And you decide if you want to create a really deep back bend as you come forward or a gentler back bend. Totally up to you. And the same with when you press the navel towards the spine. Imagine pulling the navel in towards the spine. Arching the back, so you decide how far you want to go, back towards the back of the chair. The feet are still pressing down, supporting us, same with the thighs. Sitting bones are lifting and lowering off the chair and back down. Take your time with this, tuning into the breath. Cat and dog can be very down, regulating to the nervous system, bringing our attention present, away from all the chatter in our heads and outside. And release. Let's shake it out. Round to a little happy dance. And let's try a twist. So I'm sitting at the front of my chair, settling down into both buttocks. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. So wait, still cat and dog, not the twist yet. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. This is a more active version of what we just did. Using the arms as well as the whole torso. And you can tilt the chin upward on the inhale and release down on the exhale. You could also take a pause and see if you want to inhale as you close. Exhale as you open. Inhale as you close back. Exhale as you open. So changing direction, changing a habit is really good for the brain, for the mind, for our attention. Come back to center, releasing the arms down and feel the weight from the ears down the sides of the neck to the shoulders, the weight of the arms, the fingertips pulling down, but the torso uplifting. Let's come into the twist now. So inhaling the arms up and exhale to your right. If you're doing the other side, that's fine. We're always doing both sides to keep our bodies more or less even. So one hand behind on the chair, either on the seat or the back of the chair, the other hand crossing to the opposite leg. Relax the shoulders down again. Notice the breath, filling the ribs and belly, chest, and maybe even the collarbones. Gaze towards the back of the room. Relax the jaw, maybe part the lips. Stretch your eyes towards the back. And then turn your head opposite, looking in the opposite direction. And stretch the eyes more than the neck. The spine is still centered, twisting to the right, while the head and eyes are turning to the left. And then take the arms up through center, reach those arms back by the ears, and feel free to modify. If this is too much, you can always keep the hands here, or skip the arms and just open up the chest, feeling the back bend. I'll just show you that back bend. Feet grounded so that you don't fall back. The energy pressing down through the soles of the feet to the ground to support us. And then come into the twist on the other side. So the right hand crosses to the left hand behind you, or the opposite if you did this side. On an inhale, lengthen up. Good. On the exhale, turn belly, chest, and ribs to the left. Release the neck. Release any tension in the jaw, in the throat. You might need to swallow. So we're holding our bodies in stillness in this twist, but we're still breathing, swallowing, doing whatever is necessary. And turn the head opposite. And come back to center. Reaching up towards the sky, feeling that back bend. And then take the hands to the back. I'm just turning so you see. So taking the hands to the back, either the palms, finger pads, or knuckles. Find the spot where you really feel the need to press into the massage and move those knuckles or fingers up and down, side to side, across the low back, down to the sacrum and even the buttocks. Chest expanding, giving yourself a little TLC in the back. And creating a back bend. So whenever we're in a back bend, the chest is expanding. The prana, the oxygen, nutrients can enter, entering through the nose and filling that whole front body, side body, and back body. And release. And let's kind of do the reverse. Let's hug ourselves and notice which arm is on top, which elbow is on top. See if you can walk those fingers a little further around back towards the shoulder blades. Keep pressing down into the feet. Feet are about hip width apart, heels under the knees. If you need a more sturdy stance, opening the legs wider can help. And try to keep the feet parallel to each other in mountain pose. Come here, lower the elbows. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Lift the package of the elbows and arms, kind of hiding your chin into the arms like a turtle, and release down. And again, lifting up And releasing down. And notice if you want to switch the breath. So again, you may want to exhale as the elbows come up. Inhale as you release. Listening to that sound of the breath, keeping us right here on this Friday morning. Our minds with our bodies, and release again. Look at which elbows on top. Open up. Let's open into a 5-pointed star. And in the 5-pointed star, the feet can be flat, or you might tip up to the heels, flexing the feet, and release the feet down and up. So as you flex the feet, the knees might bend. As you flatten the feet, the knees will straighten, and do the same with the arms. We're still going to hug ourselves in the other direction. So hopefully we'll remember which side we did. I tend to forget. Notice how it feels. Open and close. Shoulders, elbows, wrists, knees, hips, ankles, toes. And relax the neck. Find softness to the neck, throat. Back to center, bringing the feet back together. And let's hug ourselves the other way. See? I'm not sure. You remember how I did it? That's good. So lifting and lowering. Usually you can tell, you can feel it. But I'm busy talking, so my attention is not just on the movements, but on the chatter. But your attention can be away from the chatter in your own minds. That constant chatter, I don't know about you, but I talk to myself out loud in my head. And it distracts from what we're actually doing. So this is the time to practice being present. Release, and let's do the opposite, bringing the arms back behind us, around the lower half or middle of the back, holding opposite elbows or towards the opposite elbows. And notice how you can really feel grounded here. The heels under the knees, so you may want to walk the feet slightly forward. The arms supporting the back. The small of the back supported, so we're sitting up tall and shake the head side to side, up and down. From here, let's do some eye yoga. I think I promised it last week, but we didn't do it. I'm not sure. So from here, sitting up tall, releasing the weight of the arms down the back. Gaze upward and downward, taking your time, stretching your vision up towards the ceiling, down towards the ground, 3 rounds in each direction. Relaxing the cheeks, the face, the throat, and then side to side, checking out your peripheral vision. Looking to the right, looking to the left. Noticing what you see out there. And then let's try a diagonal. So say upper left corner to lower right corner. Still feeling those feet supporting us. And upper left to lower right. And one more. Find your breath. Don't forget the breath. And then the opposite diagonal, upper right to lower left. Keeping the head still. 2 more rounds. Stretching and working those eye muscles that are as important as all the other muscles. And release. Let go of the arms. And then let's tip the right ear towards the right shoulder. Keep that right shoulder down. The left shoulder might pop up, but press it down, press it away. And if you like, take the right arm up and over to the left ear, just resting the hand over the head, feeling the warmth or coolness of the hand, noticing the quality, the temperature of the hand, of your body, the rest of the body, of the space around you, of the room. And let that left side of the neck, the open side, open a little deeper. Shift the chin forward and back, side to side, exploring the neck. And release that side. Slowly tip the chin forward towards the chest. So the back of the neck is stretching open. Chin touching down on the chest. You can massage it by rubbing side to side or tap it up and down. And then roll the left ear towards the left shoulder, releasing that left shoulder. So never the twain shall meet. The left ear and the left shoulder are not punching together. They're separated. From here, you might take the left hand up to the right ear. And again, relax the weight of that arm. So there is more of a crunch with the elbow bent, but find space. Breathing here, releasing. Good work. Releasing the opposite arm, fingers reaching down or stretching the arm out to the side if you like, or maybe behind you. Feel free to play with this and any other pose. And release, coming back to center. Roll the shoulders back and down. Let's work with the legs. So let's cross the right ankle over the left knee. The ankle hanging over, and you can do it lower or higher, whatever feels good. You could cross right at the ankles and circle that ankle, circle the wrists. And notice we're balancing on one foot, seated. But this is practice for standing balance. Notice if you hear any little clicks and pops in the ankle from the cold weather. Our body's warming up. It's nice and cozy inside. And then see if you can bring that ankle even closer. If not, if there's pain, back off. You never want pain. Little sensation that we're not used to is okay, but never pain. Or another option is to hold the leg up, feeling the weight of that whole shin, foot, and thigh, and moving the hip. This could be done here on with the leg resting also, just shifting your weight side to side. So many options, many ways to do it. Find your breath again, and then take the leg forward. Try to keep sitting up tall. So the leg forward with the hands or without the hands. You might just lift the leg. You might hold under the knee or under the thigh. You might be able to use one hand or both hands. And again, rocking side to side. Noticing we're lubricating the hip joints, not just this right hip that we're moving, but also the left one. The left foot still grounded, supporting us, the buttock supporting us, and the crown of the head reaching up. And you might try a balance and release. How does it feel to settle down on both feet? Much better. Let's try the other side. So crossing the left ankle over the right knee, and the sides of the body are different. So on one side, you might be down here, and on the other side, you might be up here or anywhere in between. And circle the ankle, circle the wrists. We want to lubricate all the joints. Wrists, elbows, shoulders, ankle, knee, and the hips. and the neck. Maybe a little smile. We don't want to take ourselves too seriously. And this is all good for our bodies and our minds. So we can have fun with it. And trying to move the whole package, lifting the leg or keeping the leg down and just rocking side to side, moving the hips. You might even place the hands on the hips to feel that lateral movement. Keep the breath smooth and even. And then see if you want to take the leg forward any amount with the arms or without the arms for help. You can point, flex, circle, and see if you can avoid slouching down. It comes naturally, this kind of slouch down, but we want to sit up, kind of working against gravity, lifting up and turning the legs side to side, maybe balancing in stillness or movement. And I don't know about you, for me, this side is much harder. And release. Let's come back to a cat and dog. Cat and dog is a go-to for working out the low back, middle back, upper back, for calming the mind. The forward folds are good for calming down, while the open back bends are good for enlivening the body and the mind. And then bring the hands to the hips or to the seat. And you have an option. I'm going to stand up. Whoever wants to stand up can. If you don't want to stand up, act as if you're going to stand up. Kind of uplifting, using those muscles, energizing. And if you want to stand up, go ahead. You're doing the same thing, energizing the muscles and the legs and the core. Good. And let's sit down again. And you know, by now, I'm going to do this 3 to 5 times. Up to you. You can just do it once, or you might do it 10 times. Notice the muscles, the core working, the low back, strengthening, the heart rate rising, and the awakening of our bodies and minds. Okay, nice. One more for you guys. Let's circle the hips, bending the knees, feeling every part of the hips. Again, lubricating those hip joints, keeping the joints young. I'm trained in Ayurvedic yoga. Ayurveda is working, it's regular yoga, but just working with the seasons of the outside, but also the seasons of our lives. And as it gets colder, we really want to warm up the body, not just by using heat, but by heating ourselves from within with the breath. So if you know Ujjayi breath, that's a warming breath, warms our bodies from the inside. You can reverse direction when you're ready. And in the winter, there's wind, air, so that's like open, but we might want to ground more, keeping ourselves more centered. So a lot of the movements in the winter might be more closed. Or if you want to work against that, because you're feeling like you're always closed up, huddled in a blanket, and all your sweaters and layers, you might want to open up to reverse. Let's come side to side. Keeping the legs kind of straight, but not locked, never locked. And the arms could hang. Stepping out to the sides, working those inner legs one at a time. And again, checking in with the jaw, the cheeks, wherever it is that you hold tension, and then forward. Forward, as if you're marching with the legs straight or the knee bent. So up to you, and you can add opposite arm. You can slow it down. It's just as effective slowing it down. It might even be harder. And let's try another one. Let's tap opposite knee. Breathing, not holding the breath. Keeping the breath smooth and even. And then let's go backwards. So walking, stepping back, one leg at a time, as if you're skating or skiing, and lengthening opposite arm. Gazing at a point ahead, feeling that stretch in the whole back body. And back to center. Let's swish, letting all the joints unwind. As we move side to side, you can let the hands tap the body, kind of waking up those hips, the low back, wherever the hands reach. You can make soft fists if you prefer. And again, see if you could take it slow. Slowing down the pace of the movement and of the breath. Okay, and release. Coming to your mountain, so we want to settle our feet down into the ground, shoulders up and back and down, fingers reaching down along the thighs, chin parallel to the ground, your gaze softly focused on a point on the floor or ahead of you, a point that isn't moving. And wherever it is that you're looking at, that's called your drishti, your focal point in Sanskrit. Let the shoulders relax down, create space in the throat and the back and sides of the neck. Let's bring the hands in front of the heart and feel that isometric press. If you have the block, you might still have it, sorry, I forgot mine, but you might still place it between the thighs. I would say at the narrowest point. And feel that isometric press against the block. And even without the block, imagine there's a block and press those inner thighs towards each other. Feeling the energizing of the legs. From here, we're going to squat down. So we're going to lower straight down, bending the knees. You might tip the back forward, but a flat back. Relax the neck. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. You might bring the hands to the thighs, or you might bring the forearms or elbows to the thighs, pressing the tailbone back. Hands could come back together then, so that you feel that isometric press. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. You can add the Kegel, lifting that pelvic floor. That helps energize the core. From here, let's try a twist. And you can be seated to do this as well. You can be seated on the chair, bring one hand to the hip, open up the chest to the side. Notice the legs really working to support us. Release that side and try the other side. Good work. This is not easy. Whether you're seated or standing, not easy. Back to center. Let's try a twist again. This time, bring the arm up or bend the elbow back behind you. So feel free to sit down. Release that side and the other side, arm up or bent back at the elbow behind you. Back to center, lower the hands down. The knees can stay bent, or you can straighten them, but don't lock them. And let the head be higher than the heart, even with the heart. Or if you don't tend to get dizzy or lightheaded, you could lower the head for a fuller inversion. And slowly sway forward to the toes and back to the heels. So rocking forward and back, feeling the weight come into the toes and then into the heels. Another option is to hold opposite elbows. And again, the knees are soft or bent. Holding opposite elbows, you can release the weight of the upper body down to the elbows, down to the ground. Then hands come back to the shins, flatten the back. So you're in a tabletop. Legs are straight, but not locked. Back is flat. Shake the head no, nod the head yes. Hands to the hips and slowly lift up and back into the camel pose. Hands or fingertips or knuckles into the back. Expand belly, chest, and ribs. Let the elbows draw towards each other. Shoulder blades drawing together. Take a couple of enlivening breaths here. Feel those feet, the entire soles of the feet supporting you. And release. Good work. Let's come back to the swishing. You guys are great. I hope it feels as good as it looks to me seeing you. Creating flexibility, strength in the core and the muscles, flexibility in the joints, and flexibility in the mind controlled by us. So instead of letting it fly off into the ether, chattering about yesterday, last year, next year, tomorrow, let's try to keep it present, at least for this 1 hour. It's a good practice. One more thing, a stretch, which you could do seated or using the back of the chair. We did this last week, I think. We're gonna step back. It could be a chair, it could be a windowsill, it could be a wall or a table or a counter in the kitchen. So this is something you can do any time of day, in the office, at home, stretching, walking the feet back. Feet are parallel, hip width apart, or wider if you like. And really stretch those fingers so you feel the shoulders reaching. You can tuck in the navel towards the spine, zipping up the belly. Head could be between the arms, above the arms, or even a little lower than the arms. You might bend the knees, but the back is flat. Feel that length in the spine. It should feel good at any time of day to lengthen the spine this way. Breathing, taking your time. And when you're ready to come out, walk the feet forward towards the chair, slowly lifting the head. Turn so that your back is to the back of the chair, to the wall, or the table, or the windowsill. I've used all those things. And then step the feet forward just until your arms are stretched back, shoulder blades drawing together. Take a breath here. Feel the ground, the roots, your feet growing roots into the earth, crown of the head reaching up. And tilt the chin up, exposing the throat. And then lower the chin down, exposing the nape of the neck. Back to center. Turn the head side to side. And release. Nice work. Let's come back to the chair. And just so you know, that could be done in the chair. You could practice it with me as well. So, sitting all the way at the tip of the chair, the feet grounding you, reach the hands back. So we're stretching the arms, but not pulling the shoulders out of their sockets. So come to your edge where you feel you're at, you know, the tip of your strength here, and then soften a little. Feel that difference. So throughout the day, we might need to do that little check-in. Are we like at our edge or past our edge, or can we let go a little, finding space in different parts of the body, allowing for the breath to fill every nook and cranny in the body. And then from here, bring one arm out. So we're twisting, we're holding onto the chair, the back elbow can bend, stretching the arms out. Maybe you want to stretch a leg out. Now I'm asking too much. Pointing or flexing and release. And let's turn to the other side. You guys are amazing following everything. Reaching arm and leg if you like, or just the arm, or just the leg. So it doesn't have to be both. Again, working with your edge, whatever that is today. And every day is different. So don't expect that what you did yesterday would come automatically, naturally today, or the other way around for the future. Let's come back to a cat and dog. Tuning into the low back. And let's try, somebody mentioned, he's not here today, the bee breath. Are you guys familiar with the buzzing bee breath? So it's worth a try. I want you to have all different kinds of pranayama, breath exercises available. Last week we did the Ujjayi breath, which is the internally warming breath. Let's try the bee breath. So the bee breath will be a humming sound, and we're going to close off the senses. And you decide how deeply you want to close them off. If it doesn't work for you, don't do it hard, do it gently. So basically, we're going to use the thumbs to close off the flaps of the ears, and we're going to separate the fingers, the top fingers hovering over the eyes. So we're not pressing on the eyes, the lower fingers on the mouth. And again, the thumbs will cover the ears when you're ready. We're going to take an inhale. And if you end up not liking this breath, you know there's so many different breaths in yoga available, but I want to expose you to a few. So we're going to inhale through the nose and then hum. Humming it out, the breath humming out. And you'll notice, we're going to do that 2 more times, that was practice. You'll notice that you're closing off all the senses from outside, the sounds, your vision, you're not talking, just humming out. We're really bringing our minds into this state of a meditative state. So let's try that again. And again, you decide how much you want to press on the mouth, on the lips, over the eyes, and the ears to close off the ears. Inhale again. Exhale, hum. And one more. Inhaling. Exhale. And release the hands to your left. You can gently open the eyes, or maybe you want to keep them closed a little longer. And notice how that feels. You might hate it, or you might really like it. Everybody's different. I like that breath. It really brings me away from whatever activity is going on around me and lets me rest within myself. And let's come back to the 3-part breath, the Dirga breath, which is your go-to breath. Pretty much the easiest one. Bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the chest. Inhale, feeling the belly rise against your hand, the chest rise against your hand, your spine lengthening. And bring the hand from the belly, where it's easiest to feel that, to the collarbones. So exhale, notice the release from the top down, or imagine it releasing from the top down. And on the next inhale, again, fill the belly, fill the chest, and maybe you'll feel those collarbones rising. The breath coming all the way up to there. On the exhale, releasing from the top down. So you can practice this with the hands to really feel and see for yourself that it's happening, that that breath is filling. You can also bring a hand to the low back and middle back, or to the upper back, and feel the same thing in the back, because our breath is 360. It's in the belly, chest, ribs, 360 degrees, whether we notice it or not. So with the hands in the back, inhale. Notice the back body against the hand, filling. On the exhale, notice a release, a softening. Whenever you're feeling too hyped up, nervous, anxious, come to this breath with or without the hands. You could just have the arms at your sides or in your lap. You can be standing, sitting, kneeling, reclining. Just take 1 minute to do this breath, or the B breath, the Ujjayi breath, or I think we did the box breath. That's where you do even. Inhale, pause, exhale, pause. Do you want to try that for a moment? So inhale for 2, pause for 2, exhale for 2, pause for 2. And you would keep going. It could be 2, 3, 4. As you get more used to it, the breath might lengthen. And keeping it even makes it a box, a square. And with all these breaths, you're keeping your attention present. And that's where we want to be, releasing fears about the future, regrets about the past, at least for a moment, giving ourselves peace of mind, forgiveness, tender loving care emotionally. Shoulders back and down. Let's do a little core work before we do our guided relaxation. So walk the hips back. You might actually be lifting and lowering one buttock at a time, coming to the back of the chair. And when you hit the back, come forward. So notice this is in the core. You could add that Kegel, lifting the pelvic floor. Keep the breath smooth and even. One more round forward. And you might be actually moving along the chair or just lifting and lowering, using that core strength, the ribs, the waist, the shoulders. And next time you come back, settle down there. If you have a block, a pillow, or your jacket, you can put it right under the sacrum. So actually, I'm just gonna grab my sweater because it really makes a difference to have something to lean on. Just along, good work. And it's worth taking a moment or two to settle yourself, to find the blanket, to find the pillow, if you didn't get it before, to really be able to settle down. So notice with that object behind you, you're sitting up tall without effort. The small of the back against that cushioning, feet grounded, you can walk the feet forward, hands can be on your lap, at your sides, as you wish. We tend to cool down as we relax, so if you wanted, you can put a sweater on as well. And Shavasana, the relaxation can be done seated, standing. It's not as fun standing, or reclining, and with the legs up. So if you had another chair or bolsters, you can have the legs up. For now, we don't. So just releasing them down and noticing the feet grounding, noticing the crown of the head uplifting. Let the chin drop down towards the chest and shake the head no, nod the head yes. Notice the forehead smoothing out, the temples, and you might take your fingers to the forehead, to the hairline actually, to that point in the middle where your part would be, center part, and pushing the fingers down the sides of the hairline, down the temples, behind the ears, back to the nape of the neck. And let's repeat that 2 more times. You could be doing this with the fingers, pressing as hard as feels nice to you, all the way back to the back point of the neck. 1 more. And when we let go, so after the 3rd round, let the arms go back to the lap or to your sides and feel that aura, that echo of that press. So if you didn't even want to use the hands, you can imagine that feeling now that you felt it. From here down the sides to the back of the neck. And let the throat soften, let the shoulders drop, the elbows bend or soft, if the arms are hanging, the wrists hanging, the fingers relaxed, palms and fingers curled naturally. Imagine a cotton ball, a nice big cotton ball of air in the palms, whether the palms are up or down. And feel the energy lowering down to the chest, belly, to the hips, buttocks, pelvis, to the thighs. Eyes could be fully closed or at half mast. Feel that energy going down the knees to the shins. You might step the feet forward a little more. And notice weight, effort, tension dropping towards the ankles and heels, to the tops of the feet, the toes, the soles of the feet. Again, rooting down into the earth through the soles of the feet. Take an inhale and an exhale again, right here in this quiet stillness. And if there are sounds besides my voice, other sounds, just let them remind you to keep the breath flowing. The energy release down to the ground. And then you can stay here as long as you like, or you can join me to begin awakening the body again by stretching the toes, pointing, flexing, stretching the heels and soles of the feet, the arches, lifting the heels and lowering them. As you do that, you'll feel the calf muscles energizing. And imagine we're drawing that energy up from the earth to the calves, to the knees, to the quads and hamstrings. You can rub those thighs, creating friction, heat, prana, all the way to the hips, awakening those areas. And then release the shoulders back and down. Feel the energy rising up. Notice your breath deepening. The inhale, filling belly, chest, and ribs in that three-part breath, the Dirga breath. The exhale, releasing the staleness, excess, whatever we don't need. And feel that in the back as well, and the sides of the body. All the way up to the throat, the collarbones, the sides and back of the neck. Stretch out the jaw. And out to one side and the other side. Feel the energy rising into the head, into the forehead, up to the crown of the head. Sit up tall as if you're going to stand up, but without standing up, energizing that kegel, the core. On an inhale, take the arms out and up overhead. Turn the palms up towards the sky and rock side to side. On an exhale, lower the hands in front of the heart. Again, pressing your own energy, one hand into the other and out through the elbows. Open your eyes to the light of Friday. I wish you a wonderful weekend. I hope you feel good. Namaste. The light in me salutes the light in you.